How to come to Christ? Well, that's not a simple story.
Well, a long story short, I said yes, and Eddie prayed for me in a car. That's it.
So I'm the typical
I think I have the typical
kid growing up in church
growing up in a Christian family.
because my parents forced me to go.
I came to Christ. It was right before me and Sarah got married. At the time, I was, I guess, struggling a little bit with myself, and it affected our relationship to a point where Sarah was actually doubting about our relationship and our marriage and stuff like that. So it came to a point where she kind of wanted to call quits. And that really hit me hard because, you know, here I'm a few months away from marrying this girl of my dreams, and because of my own stupidity and my own messed upness or whatever, I almost lost Sarah. And at the time I was very heartbroken and very confused.
So I grew up in church for most of my life. You know, I went to youth group and I went through all of the retreat, you know, emotional BS and stuff that Pastor Sam talks about in his sermons.
We went on a joint retreat, our church youth group went on a joint retreat with a bunch of other churches, and we went to Nyack, and during one of the times of praise and praying and stuff like that, I was going through a hard time myself as well, just with like family issues and stuff going on. And
In the simplest form, I guess I came to Christ for real when I came to 180 Church with Pastor Joe. It's pretty simple, really. Like, I thought I couldn't come to Christ because I was messed up. You know, I wasn't perfect. I was nowhere near being a good Christian or even having a title of a Christian. So what I told Pastor Joe was that I don't feel right to be saved per se, because, you know, I don't know anything about the Bible. I don't know anything about Jesus or anything about Christianity.
I guess I'm the one who dragged it on really, really, really long for no reason, just because I felt like I wasn't ready. But, you know, you're not really supposed to be ready. You're never gonna be ready. And that was pretty much the misunderstanding that I had.
I really seeked out help, and Pastor Sam reached out to me.
I actually got to meet Pastor Sam.
I went to his office to talk about the whole situation, and you know, he told me, you know, Brian, you need to come to Christ, and you need to be saved, and that's probably the only way for our relationship to actually work out. So, you know, that's how I came to Christ.
Pretty much I gave Pastor Sam a really, really hard time for 4 years because I'm just like that and I like to give people hard times. So, you know, sorry, Pastor Sam, but and then Pastor Sam actually started talking about the gospel and, you know, how people are effed up, and then he called me effed up, and at first I was like, what? But I really, really, it struck home, and you know, I thought about it some more, and I was like, oh, he's right. I am effed up.
But pretty much how I came to Christ is when he told me, and I came to a realization that you know, you have to come as you are. And why would I need Jesus if I was already healed? You know what I mean? Because I was sick, so I needed Jesus. Pastor Joe was bugging me for the whole entire summer. It was about 3 months. I was in the praise team. I was playing the drums. And I remember after every praise team, he would come up to me and be like, Eric, you know, I need to talk to you. But back then, you know, I guess I was being very, what's that word I'm looking for? Stubborn. So I always used to brush him off. And every time he says, let me pray for you, Eric, I was just like, you know, get away from me. I don't want you to pray for me, you know what I mean?
Meanwhile, we're still continuing our conversations, and there was a period where, you know, I was kind of in and out of church and like not really feeling it, and I would intentionally show up late to church, and I guess Pastor Sam caught on, and he ironed me one day, and it was actually while I was thinking about, oh, I feel really guilty about, you know, coming to church late, and actually Tongcher, my best friend, he was praying for me about that, and I guess it struck home, and you know, whatever, I think Pastor Sam called it a Kairos moment. During that time where, you know, everything was going on, it was a very critical moment in my life, Pastor Sam IM'd me, and he said, Eddie, don't you think it's time to change? And you know, it took literally like 5 seconds, and I said, yeah, I think it's time.
One day, after about 3 months, I got really sick and tired of Pastor Joe. So I said, fine, I'll go talk with you. And he took me into the downstairs room, and we had a talk. And he gave me this analogy where actually, no, I gave him an analogy about the swimming pool analogy. And pretty much what that analogy is that the deeper you are in the swimming pool, I guess the deeper you are in Christ. And the further away you are, the more shallow you are. You know, I'm by the shallow waters kind of dipping around because I don't really want to go into it yet. I said, you know what? You're never going to stop bothering me. I might as well go for it. You know, how bad can this be? So I said, yeah, let's go for it. And then he said, all right, cool. And he prayed for me, and I said that Savior's Prayer, whatever you guys call it in 180, that you guys make everybody do. It's like so generic, it should be in the Bible now. I did that, and I was saved, officially.
It was after the baptism retreat of last year. I got baptized, but I wasn't comfortable. You know, after the retreat, I was still a little, you know, skeptical, antsy, you know, whatever. And pretty much, I forgot when it was, but Eddie was giving me a ride home, and in front of my house, we just started talking. You know, Eddie pretty much confronted me and said, you know, tell me everything, spill out all the marbles, no more excuses, no more bullshit, just give up the control freak that you are and come to Christ. And after about like an hour and a half of just arguing and just complaining and whining, I gave in and finally came to Christ, and Eddie prayed for me.
God was always someone that I turned to and I always prayed to and stuff, but I never set it down and was really like, okay, you know, God, like I give you everything, and I, you know, completely just trust in that you're like the only one that can really save me. So I think that's where it started from, and that was how I accepted Christ, but it's been a journey throughout to continue and to really fully give my life in all aspects. Yeah.
How did it change me? Well, I'm a completely different person now.
Change me? How did it change me? Coming to Christ?
How did it change me?
Well, I changed a lot, actually.
I don't think I could say that it changed me, but I could say that I am changing.
I guess I have a sense of purpose now.
I was a really skeptical person about Christianity. Like, I never believed in any of the spiritual gifts, tongues and stuff like that. And when they talk about, like, you know, prophecy and stuff like that, I'm like, damn, you guys are crazy, man. Like, that stuff can't exist. I was always about facts and proof, and I guess science, whatever. But now, you know, how it changed me, I believe in it now. I mean, I experienced it firsthand. I go to church, like, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, before, it was hard for me to come out to church because, like, I was always hanging out with my friends, you know, doing stuff, going outside, chilling. But, like, you know, I talk to my friends now, and they're like, Eric, where are you now? You know, you barely hang out with me. And, like, I'm like, I go to church, man. I go to church Friday, I go to church Saturday, I go to church Sunday. And they're like, what? That's crazy. Like, they don't believe me. I mean, like, I go to small group, I serve, you know, I'm in the praise team, I did outreach, you know, I set up, I break down, you know, like, I'm living for Christ, you know. And I gave up my dream of 15 years for Christ, so I mean, that's a big change, right? You know, I'm a better person now.
I think knowing that Christ was in my life, that I can always depend on him, and he was always my provider now, just always feeling his love, and knowing that he always wanted the best for me. So I guess I felt more supported and more loved and cared for by, I guess, the ultimate creator, right? And yeah, I think I felt at peace more knowing that.
I think my life is a little more whole and a little more happy. I never really expected anything to come out of it, actually. But, you know, now I'm leading like 11 girls in small group, and that just happened out of nowhere. And now I'm leading Stern Parsons group, you know, in the city. And I guess now I have to start caring about people and really changing my life for Christ, or else, you know, it would do them injustice.
Well, I try to stay away from things that I've used to get myself into trouble, because easily you could always turn to that, you know. So, but I have that conscience of things that I should be doing, things that I shouldn't be doing, and I think that heart, trying to be good, trying to be a good Christ follower, trying to be a good husband, I think that heart, I think God has changed me, or changing me. Yeah.
Technically I did like a 540, not really a 180, because like growing up I was a good boy, you know, I was all for Christ, all fired up, but then just for some reason, I don't know what it was, but in high school into college, like I just lost it. I think I just got burnt out, you know, just not having the community around me, trying to do it all by myself, whatever's. I got burnt out and I just didn't want to do it anymore, and that just went up and down. It was like a roller coaster ride, going up and down, up and down. And then I went the total opposite way. Like I just wanted to be a pagan. I just wanted to do bad things. I just wanted to live the life like how Americans want to live their life, you know, and drive nice cars, have a nice jet, you know, nice homes, you know. And it just got up to the point, and then finally Eddie confronted me and, you know, told me I need to change, and I did another 180. So 180 plus 180 plus 180, 540. Yeah, that's my life.
What would I say to people getting baptized this year?
There's really nothing you can really do to prepare.
You can't really prepare for Jesus coming into your life.
Be ready.
Expect the unexpected, because you're never gonna know what God's gonna pull. So you can't really be ready for anything that Jesus is gonna make you do or change in your life.
Be ready for lots of change.
It's just gonna happen, and it's gonna shock you, and it's gonna change you. It changed me, and it will change you. If you can change a stubborn person like me, it'll definitely change you.
You know, God does some really powerful things, and once you accept Him in your life, you start seeing changes. I guess it's harder to see it for yourself, right? But I mean, I've experienced seeing it, so be prepared for a lot of change, and really awesome change, and really being blessed, and yeah, never being alone again.
It's just gonna explode in your face. But the only advice I could give you is that whatever kind of lifestyle you lived in the past, whatever you were in the past, you're pretty much dead now. And this is serious stuff. It's not like, you know, you go to church and they sprinkle some water in your head. You know, that's lame. This is like life-changing stuff, man. When they dunk you in the water, you're gonna die and you're gonna come back as a new person.
Just know that it's gonna get harder, because baptism is just pretty much just saying it. Now you actually gotta do it. You know, you actually gotta change your character, and, you know, you actually have to change. So yeah, so just expect it to get harder and harder and harder, but, you know, we'll be there for you, so don't worry about it.
But what I can say is, for those of you at baptism, I went through it last year and there were about 20 of us getting baptized, and I heard this year it's like 40, 45 people. So I suggest going first, because if not, you're gonna have to wait 3 hours in that line, and like, that anticipation sucks. Ask Tay. He went last.
Just enjoy the moment, you know. We're like, yeah, party on, dudes, you know.
It's the cost of being free.
Henry and I realized yesterday that if Pastor Sam really didn't manipulate us, we'd be on the PGA Tour competing for Michelle Wee. That would be a fact.